and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Good afternoon. Coming up next right here on Talk Today, it's Open Line. It's your show. Tell me what's making you happy, what's making you mad, what's bugging you. Hey, pick up the phone. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charles Glidden. Thanks for joining me here on Talk Today. We've almost conquered this week. I guess I can call it my week. Today's I won't be back until Monday, so I guess I can say I'm finishing up my week today. I guess most of you have to go until tomorrow, though, right? Yeah, Friday. Well, what's on your mind, Cayman? A lot of things happening around the community, good things, bad things, and hey, it's the end of July, and you know what that means? It means you have to start planning for Christmas shopping, because, hey, the Cayman Airways sale is coming up. I think it starts tomorrow, so you gotta plan to go shopping for Christmas in Miami, Tampa, wherever your favorite place to go shopping overseas is. And I see on social media, and there was an article in the paper about it. We touched on it yesterday about the clearing of that property out on Walker's Road, and apparently that's a sort of very, I don't know if is ancient the word, ancient forest. That has remained there. I mean, Walker's Road is pretty developed. And now someone's going to be putting a mall down there. It's called International Mall. And people are upset. If you follow social media, you've seen some things. I know Craig Marin, he put a video out. He was showing what was happening. He talked about how when he was young, boy, they would go camping there. So there's, I guess, a lot of sentimental attachment to that land, whether you want to call it forest or bush. Forest always makes it sound much more dignified, right? Even, I guess, Caymanians would call it the bush. So there's sentiment there attached to that land. And Walker's Road, I mean, you have everything on Walker's Road, from schools to church to fast food, auto sales, auto repair. So it's a fairly developed road. But people are saying, it's bad that they're clearing this land. And I guess there's some very old indigenous trees. I know one of them that has been pointed out is the silver thatch tree. And apparently those have been removed and given to Vigora Nursery, which is really close by to where this is all happening. But people are saying that this shouldn't be allowed. Do you agree? When you're going to start telling people what they can and can't do with their private property, that always becomes a touchy subject. People say, well, you shouldn't allow this because we already have enough development. But if somebody owns a piece of land, if you own a piece of land and you want to do something with it, are you happy to have the government come in and say, no, you can't do this? I mean, if you're in the proper zone, you got the right zoning. You're not putting up a factory in the middle of a residential area. You're conforming with, the zoning laws, and you want to clear the land. Should that be prohibited? Is there a point that we're going to reach that you say, oh, no, we can't clear any more land? It's not a preserve. It's private property. So if someone wants to develop that land, do they have the right to go ahead and clear it? I know when Grand Harbor was being developed, Michael Bell, I think it was, that developed that. He had the late, great Consuelo. Everybody remembers Consuelo, right? He had her go into the property, and she was selecting trees, orchids, different plants to be preserved. They were marked, and they made sure that they just didn't bulldoze them over, which is great. I mean, that was fantastic that he made the effort to preserve those indigenous plants, and hopefully that's going to happen on Walker's Road too. I mean, apparently they've made some effort to do it since they've taken out the silver thatch and given them to Vigora Nursery, and hopefully some of those big, probably a couple of 100-year-old trees that are in that forest will be taken care of. But some people still seem to believe that we've reached a point in development that we can't or we should not go any further, and people should be prohibited from making these big developments. But again, it's private property. It's in the right zone. Can we really tell people what to do or what they can't do with their private property? That is the question. It is Georgetown. This is the developed area. This is the city, right? So you're not going to find, a lot of virgin land in the capital city here. And I guess that's part of why people want to try and preserve patches of land like this, because it is getting so scarce. Do we have a caller? Yeah. All right, let's take a break, and then we're going to get to our WhatsApp callers. Stay with me.
There's something new at Subway. Indulge your taste buds with our new barbecue pork rib sandwich tender. Smoky pork ribs smothered in sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, built just the way you like it. It's bold, rich, and seriously satisfying. But hurry, it's here for a limited time only. Order now on the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick in-store pickup, or get it delivered with Bento or Let's Eat. The all-new barbecue pork rib sandwich, only at Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
Yummy.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And it is open line. You can pick up the phone and let me know what's on your mind. I think we have a caller on our WhatsApp line. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm hanging in and listening and thinking, where is the Cayman Islands, the place that I was born and raised between 4th Street, Cardinal Avenue, and Mary Street. I don't know where it is anymore. I was telling somebody a few days ago, they were saying they can't wait to retire. I said they better keep working as long as they can move, because I tell you what, it's very sad what I'm seeing here in the island. Once you're up in age now, people are not respecting you anymore. Not even some of your own children, not even respecting you anymore. And, it wasn't like that when I was growing up as a boy in the Cayman Islands. I don't know what has happened to the Cayman Islands. I'm talking to the people that are from the Cayman Islands, that born and raised there, not those that came in here by plane. I mean the ones that was here by peen, that they know and grew up here on the island. I was telling somebody a few days ago, they were talking about the 7 Mile Beach. Said, well, in your time, you all had the opportunity to buy on the 7 Mile Beach. I say, you know what time? And I was going up, but boy, nobody didn't want to go 7 Mile Beach. Because there was no 7 Mile Beach. It was pine trees, prickles, cocoa plums, and grapes.
Well, in West Bay, we called it up along the bay. We go up along the bay.
Yeah, but the whole, starting from just above past the Wharf restaurant where that was, going all the way down there. But I am seeing, Mr. Glidden, that now that you become old or disabled or whatever you want to call it, that the people in the island don't respect you or anything. Even the people that are taking care of you, all they're saying to you is that, oh, you're old now, you're not got no memory, you can't remember, you talking foolishness or what. And those people, those elderly ones, are the ones that can teach these people that is coming here now on the island, because they grew up here, they know what Cayman was, and it's very sad. Even I'm noticing everything now. Well, I mean, we're in a modern world now, and you got to move on. Cayman Islands is known, but everything is online. Every single thing is online. And I said to him, tell me something, what is put in place for the people that don't know anything about online? What is put in place for them?
Yeah.
It's nothing.
They even want you to do all your banking online now.
It's no entity or anything that is say, well, we will assist those people that don't know nothing about online, this or online, that. They said, you can't get somebody to help you. Nobody ain't got no time for nobody no more in the Cayman Islands. Everybody's for themselves now. It is, it's very sad. Mr. Glidden, I know that you grew up here as well, down in West Bay. And in your time, it wasn't like that.
Partially grew up
we
here.
had love. We had love here, and we loved our own parents and stuff like that. But I'm seeing the children, well, they ain't got no time for their parents anymore. It is sad.
If it's any consolation, Cayman's not the only place that is happening. We've seen a breakdown in family in so many places. The U.S., the U.K., the family unit is not what it used to be. And you talk about young people disrespecting their elders. That is something that's not just happening here. But I know you relate to what you know. You're not relating to things overseas.
Yeah. I can only relate to what happening here.
Yeah.
I grew up and raised here, But it is very sad. And I'm wondering, with all of the businesses and the wealth in Cayman Islands, they don't have anybody to even come and take the elderly out if they got appointments or anything. I don't know, some entity or anything that they could organize. I know
there is some kind of service, though.
Thing.
I think the Department of Family and Children I think there is some kind of service to help young elderly people to get out to take care of their business or something. I'll have to check. I'll have to check on that.
Limited. Yeah, it's limited. They do have, and I understand the Red Cross also have, but it is limited because it's more demand than it is service in Cayman. Right now it's more demand than it's service because, tell you what, it's not much real souls to this island left there. They're going real fast.
Yeah,
and where they're going is because
we're no longer the island the time forgot.
Yeah,
no longer the island the time forgot. But thank you so much for your call. I'm gonna look into that point that you made about services to help the elderly when they have to go, whether it's go to the doctor or get some banking done or something. That'd be something good to look into. Thank you so much.
They do how the services. I know Red Cross how, like I say, but they're all limited. And this online thing, everything is online.
Yeah,
that is what some entity need to do to assist the elderly people. It is,
and sometimes
sad.
It's not even really elderly. You're not alone. You're not alone. I know there's people that they're just not. They just don't go for the whole computer thing. and they find it frustrating that everything you want to do is like banking and stuff like that. They don't want you coming in. They want you to go online and do it. Well, thank you so much for the call. You have a good afternoon. You hear? You too.
Have a good weekend too, sir.
All right, take care. We have another caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Afternoon to you, Charlo.
How's it going?
Pretty good for the most part, man. Thank you, and thank the good Lord. Wasn't planning on calling, but listening to the gentleman there moved me to chime in, because you so rightly ended it by saying he's not alone. But it's something that I thought about for a long time because of the people that I'm around, and without sharing their details. There's not just those who are not computer literate. There's just those who are not literate, period.
Yeah, definitely.
And there are protections for that. So we can hold government, and that's another thing we need to think about in terms of rights and that sort of thing. Because right now I know we have I don't remember what it's called now, but it's where citizens can hold government accountable. It's a vertical kind of relationship. It's not a horizontal one in terms of enforcing rights. So we can hold government accountable to things like data protection and the whole. Well, not data protection. That's probably not a good example, but rights for things like applications. So I shared that some time ago that you can't even apply for a job in government unless they send you to this portal. Mm-hmm. And that's the most complicated thing ever. I don't know if
you're talking about the work, WORC portal.
That's completely different than just applying for a government job.
Oh, to the civil service. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got you.
But that work one is, and so I didn't want to throw a monkey wrench. They call it.
But that's kind of complicated too, right?
Yeah, that is a nightmare for anyone. So I know recently they were talking and encouraging Caymanians to make sure that they apply via that portal, because it is the only space, as they framed it, that they can be assured that you applied for a job and try to hold companies accountable. And that may be the case, but boy, if they haven't changed it from when I applied a few times through it some time ago, and I am not computer illiterate, that is the most convoluted, the most difficult, the most challenging thing in so many respects, and everything from ease of flow. So you tap on a job and you click on it and you apply and you want to come back to something. It is just a nightmare. So
yeah, it's just it's not friendly. It's not user friendly.
Most definitely. And I don't know if they improved it, because I think I heard something some time ago where they had stopped it for a while because they were seeking to improve it. So I don't know what that's like now. But back to the gentleman point, there needs to be some real thought for all government services, so including NAU, for example. People who are vulnerable and definitely need those services. They put them through these things to do with online, like he mentioned. All applications, all of this. There's no consideration for just a standard person who may not even have access to a computer, so they could be literate. They may not be elderly, but they just don't have access to a computer for whatever reason, or to print forms, or to follow up with something, or to go on the email. There's just no consideration for that. And don't think now, because this is the technological age, that massive countries, and I keep referencing the U.S. in so many respects, not the U.S., the U.K., because they provide for people in that aspect. They hold themselves accountable. And if I'm not mistaken, we can carve legislation out that requires private companies to provide for things like job applications and the whole nine. Never mind banks. That's a whole nightmare for anybody who is senior and want to do something. And recently I heard, because we were talking about all the fees, I wanted to recall when Mr. Tatum was on with Mr. O.C. the other morning, and he was, as a former banker, talking about some of the things. I caught halfway through, so I don't know whether he was saying that this, the bill that he wanted to introduce, I don't know if it was something that they wanted to introduce or they were going to when they were the government, or he was instrumental in it. I don't know where that was, but it was a good idea that he was talking about. But I wanted to share in that and enlighten in case many Caymanians missed it, because only just last week I heard, I believe it was the Bank of Butterfield, and it was on Radio Cayman, touting their $53 million income. They said it was their net income. Now, I got an O-level in accounts. I completely understand that net income could be impacted by things like it didn't speak to their expenses, and so their expenses could be 50% of that income. But if you still earned $25 million in Cayman from your business, and I just went 50% off the bat. It could be 30% their expenses or what have you. But the fact that they had a net income of $53 million, and how much of that was made from people's fees, how much percentage of that, all these fees that they be tagging on. And you mean they can't carve out and make provisions for the elderly, for things like the gentleman just spoke about?
I know at one point, some of the banks had, nowadays, if you put money in, they charge you a fee. If you take it out, they charge you a fee. And they were waiving that for senior citizens. Senior citizens did not pay, that withdrawal fee or deposit fee. And mind you, it's just like a 50 cents, 75 cents, but that adds up.
Are you kidding me? I was looking at the government fees, for example. I think it sounds like a little bit when it says 20% so they force you to use your debit card in so many instances in terms of private business. It's a lot of them where they almost scorn you if you pull out a $25 bill to give to them. But government fees on each transaction on those are 20 cents. Well, you do the math, 20, 40, 60, 80, $1 for 5 transactions. Well, $1 doesn't seem like much, but you start doing that a few times a month, and then you do that times a year, you'll see how much you're paying in fees. Is that a major contributor to government revenue? I highly doubt it, but it does hurt the individual who struggles, if they're forced to use a debit card. So there's so much things that I call making the lives of people easier, and it's not where you're trying to create a social, because there's these people with the ideology that any sort of help is leaning in the hole, and they start bringing out these North American terminologies about you want to create socialism and the whole nine. It's just dumb. It's about trying to not nickel and dime people in these times, and trying to really carve out spaces that allow for people to exist in a very decent way, like our seniors. And I really feel it for Mr. I'm not going to call his name. I really feel it for the gentleman there, because I heard a number of things in the midst of that. He talked about personal issues, but he keeps stressing this thing online for a reason, and it's because his life is being frustrated to get things done that needs to exist. And when I think about my elderly mother, and I think about those who are elderly, that's where I live and breathe, and it's just horrible that they have to continue. I just hope that this government and those who has the ability to be able to impact some of these things are listening to people. I have every faith in this government in regards to some of the reforms that they're doing, but these are the little things that impacts our quality of life, man. And I share his concern. Thank you for letting me share it.
All right, thank you for the call. We need to take a break, but we'll be right back.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
This summer, Cayman is growing something special. The Backyard Garden Program is here, bringing free grow boxes, seeds, and soil right to your doorstep.
Whether you've got a backyard, a porch, or a balcony, any space can be a space to grow. Food security starts with your first plant.
Apply today. Let's grow healthier, greener Cayman together.
Visit gov.ky/PAHI or contact the Department of Agriculture to learn more.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and excuse me. We're having open line here. Talk about what you want to talk about. And we have a caller on the WhatsApp line right now, so let's see what he's saying. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, good afternoon, Ms. Glidden.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Okay, and you?
I'm all right.
Okay. Concerning, I heard you mention that if somebody has a piece of land and they want to sell it, that's their business, and there's practically nothing against that, being that the piece of land belongs to them. But there's some people who are buying land from certain individuals, and the land is land that needs to be filled in with marl because of the type of land that it is. And there are individuals who may want to build a house, who may want to build apartments, who might want to build a shopping center on this land that they have filled in. Then there might be some landowners who have been living next to that piece of land for probably 50, 60 years. And by them filling in the land that they bought, say, filling it in that it's almost 2 feet in height, higher than the land that was there, higher than the land with the people who are staying next door, higher than their land, who have been there for 50, 60 years. And by doing that, when it rains, this piece of land that was holding the water before, being that it's filled in, the water is now going in the piece of land next door with the people who have been there for 50, 60 years. When you look then, these people have about 2 feet of water inside their yard. That shouldn't be allowed. The government should not allow that to happen. So when people are buying land, they have to respect their neighbors. And the best thing I can see in doing it in a common sense way is to leave a trench completely around the piece of land that water is able to still settle around that piece of land instead of going in the people's yards next door. Like you said, people can buy land, people can sell land, people can build whatever they want to build on the land once it's legal in the area that it's in. But people shouldn't be able to fill in land that is going to cause serious flooding in their neighbors' yards that never had flooding before. That shouldn't be allowed.
Part of the problem is where you have old neighborhoods that weren't filled in very high at all, right? And are prone to flooding. And then you have some land adjacent to that and somebody comes and develops it, and they fill it into a point where it's not going to flood. But then that water is going to run off into the old neighborhood. And I think it's, it's the new versus the old kind of thing.
You allowed, Mr. Glidden? A man shouldn't be allowed just because he got a pile of money to come and build next door to me.
But sometimes that they're actually filling it to what the land should be filled to. You understand?
Yes, but still it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be able to come and buy a piece of land next to me where I have been staying for 50, 60 years. Whether you're the richest man in the world or not, you shouldn't be able to come and buy a piece of land next to me, fill in that land that it's almost 2 feet in height, higher than my piece of land. When you look, I got 2 feet of water in my yard, water coming inside my house and destroy my whole house. That shouldn't be allowed. That should be against the law.
Well, it's a problem that a lot of people are facing. I'll tell you that. And I hear where you're coming from. I hear that but I also think there's something in the laws about that each property owner is responsible for their drainage. I think there's something there.
Okay, Mr. Glidden, what kind of drainage can a human being put in their yard that was holding as much water as a piece of land next door that needed probably 4-5 feet of marl to fill that piece of land? What kind of drainage is that person going to put in their yard to hold that amount of water, Mr. Glidden?
Yeah, I mean, you probably have to put in a deep well.
No, Mr.
And that
Glidden,
might even help.
That's not going to help. You're having the same problem right now in West Bay by Bottom New Road.
I know. I heard about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Before that kind of flooding wasn't in those people's yards like what you see now after that man was given permission to put that amount of fill in his piece of land. And then when you look, then the water that was settling in the piece of land that he bought is now settling in people's yards. Remember now, most of this land these people are buying and filling in. Majority of middle class Caymanians don't buy that kind of land. That kind of land is mostly bought by people like Dart and those type of individuals. So if Dart is able now to fill in all that land that he bought from Barmanu straight up to Yacht Club, if Dart is able to fill in all that land, that mangrove land that he bought, do you know the amount of water that would be on the main road? So he shouldn't be allowed to do that unless he has a trench completely around the buildings in those areas when he decides to build. He shouldn't be able to fill in all that land, and then when you look, you got about 4 or 5 feet of water on the main road.
Well, that's part of the problem too, what you just brought, filling in where the water used to drain to, into the mangrove. Mangroves being filled in, and the water doesn't have any place to go.
Yes, and another thing, when it comes to selling land, the government wasn't supposed to let Dart block off that road on 7 Mile Beach, where people enjoyed driving so close to the ocean for so many years, enjoying that view for so many years, because Dart said that he wanted to block off the road because of his plans that he had in that area. And then they were saying that it was safer to block off the road because of pedestrians going across the road. When Dart could have built a bridge just like what they have by the Ritz-Carlton. Those kind of things shouldn't have been allowed.
Well, there was a big battle over that, if you remember. A lot of petitions and that sort of thing. People did protest that. And whether it should have happened or not, well, I guess that's a matter of how you look at it. But my friend, it is 1 o'clock, and we have to break away for the news. So thank you for calling, though. You have a good afternoon, good night. It is 1 o'clock. Let's go to the headlines.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your latest headlines. In an effort to improve food security and sustainable gardening in the Cayman Islands, the Ministry of Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing and Infrastructure has announced the launch of a backyard garden program pilot initiative. In conjunction with the Department of Agriculture, participating households will receive free grow boxes, soil seeds, and guidance to start their own backyard gardens. You can find out more at gov.ky/PAHI. In international headlines, Arkansas police have charged a 28-year-old schoolteacher in the killing of a married couple who were hiking with their children at Devil's Den State Park, arresting him in a nearby city after a 5-day search and public pleas for tips from other hikers. State police arrested Andrew James McGann at a barbershop in Springdale. He was charged with 2 counts of capital murder and is being held without bond in the Washington County Jail. A Delta Airlines flight from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam was hit by serious turbulence, sending 25 people to the hospital and forcing the flight to divert to Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. The Airbus A330-900, carrying 275 customers and a 13-member crew, landed around 7:45 p.m. last night. The airport, fire department, and paramedics met the flight. The airline will operate a special flight tonight from Minneapolis-St. Paul International to Amsterdam so customers can continue their trip. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts was born at Cotton Tree Bay in Cayman on 15th October 1916 to James Nathaniel Tibbetts and Elsie Huldah Tibbetts nee Hunter. In 1931, the family moved to Belize, then known as British Honduras, where young Keith worked on boats on the dry dock. However, the family returned to Cayman after 6 months, and that is when he began to build catboats. During the 1932 hurricane, at the age of 16, being a strong swimmer, he was able to save many people. However, his baby brother, only sister, and grandmother unfortunately perished. A week after the island-wide disaster, his uncle Dwight came to the island on his own ship with some relief supplies and brought his brother Ronnie. After assisting with the rebuilding of the family home, resurrecting the family car, and helping other relatives and the community rebuild, he built and sold several catboats before going to Jamaica to seek employment as a seaman. This was part 2 of a special Sister Islands vignette series dedicated to Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts.
I'll be back. I've got 22 more days.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and a little weather check here. Let's see what we got at Owen Roberts International. 91 degrees. Feels like 106. Yeah. Forecast calling for partly skies through the evening. And on the radar, we got some little scattered showers in the area. And the National Hurricane Center in Miami says all clear for the next 7 days. Let's get back to the phone calls. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Mr. Glidden?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, how you doing?
All right, man. You? Everything good?
Everything's good.
Okay. First of all, I want to show enough support for that commercial about the backyard garden.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that's a real good. Out of everything I see this government do so far, I think that's the best thing I can see.
I guess we should all start our little backyard garden, right?
And I'm not going to criticize it, but it's just...
I'm having a little trouble hearing you. You're breaking up.
So it should have been a long time ago that we did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, should have been from a long time ago that we had that, but people I guess fall out of it, or it wasn't trending no more. Now it's trending.
Listen, are you on a speakerphone?
No.
You're not on a speakerphone? Okay, because you're kind of breaking up there. You weren't clear. Go ahead.
All right. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, just want to touch on a couple of things from yesterday, if that's all right. That's okay?
Yeah. Go ahead. We're hearing you.
All right. So, who they elect? The ones we elect, who they work for? They work for us or they work for businesses? Who they work for?
They're the employees of the people.
Employees of the people, right? So that would make almost the people the employers, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We pay them. It's our money that pays them, right?
All right. I'm not going to bring up anything about them because I got something else on my mind right now. It's that when certain callers yesterday saying that an employer has the right to drug test an employee at any random moment, that should be allowed, right? When knowing that if I smoke a spliff or whatever today, and I mightn't smoke when I go to work tomorrow, and I get urine tested, it would assume or be presumed that I was high on the job. That's basically what they're trying to say.
Not necessarily, though.
Not necessarily, but it still would have consequences because everybody will think like, well, you're high all the time. But no, I get high when I go home or off of work.
Well, I think they're saying that you're using marijuana or cocaine, whatever shows up in the urine test. As long as you're using it, they have a problem with it.
Right, but it should be like as long as I'm not on work or on doing my duties, or if it affecting my duties, should not be a problem. Shouldn't even be questioned. Right.
As long as you're not using on the job. Yeah, but you see, that's not where they're coming from. I mean.
Well, that's where they're dipping too far into my business, especially my urine. I believe my urine is my business, and what I put inside my body is my business.
But don't you know that when you go and get a job, would they not tell you that, listen, in this job we take drug tests. You will be drug tested, once a year randomly.
Yes.
I mean, you know what you're getting into, right?
Yes, but they don't tell you that you also have the right to refuse that, and that it shouldn't be no consequences when I refuse it. They don't tell you that.
If you refuse it and they don't hire you?
No. Yeah, if I refuse it and they don't hire me, they don't tell you that part of it. That's a part of the human, right? They don't tell you that part.
Well,
So
I don't know. I mean, if you're working for a private business, a private employer, I think they can set the terms on which they will hire you.
If me and the boss want to do a urine test at the same time, I'll do that.
You and the boss.
Yeah, me and the boss. If we're gonna see who got what and who, then we can work. You understand?
They say who's been smoking the most.
Yeah, who on coke or what? You understand? All right.
No, but I mean, they set the terms of your employment. If you if you accept that, then you have to put up with it.
You're doing business in a tax-free haven, which is my country where I born and come from. So you should better know, like, be surrounded by ganja and everything. So you know what you getting into, right? Simple as that. So here we go again now. So we back to the politicians. The politicians is my employee. So what happens now if I say I want every politician to do a random urine test every day? If you refuse it, that's what it's saying. If you refuse it, you're guilty. So let's have everyone them. Let's see how we okay that. I want to see what in their bloodstream, what in their urine. You understand? This is whole business about what in mine. You understand? They don't like to tell you that you have the same, even more rights than them, because what? They got more money than us. You understand?
Well, I mean, that they work for us is true, but it is also more of a figurative because they are in Parliament, and Parliament would have to set that kind of rule. We can't just demand it of them.
Yeah, we can. They should be under higher scrutiny than us. Not true?
Well, Well, I hear where you're coming from, but I mean, it's the citizen just can't demand that they take a urine test or set that term. You know, that would have to be in a law, which would mean that Parliament would have to bring that.
Well, we the people, and I believe we the law. Or I supposed to be that what democracy says it is, that we the people are the laws. And another thing, this lie again now about we got to wait.
Make it quick because I got another caller on the line here.
Yeah, don't worry. You can wait 1 minute. Another thing
Go ahead.
they're talking about England has to say whether or not we can or not legalize ganja. That's a lie. What's the term used for Cayman Islands? A self-governing
Yeah, governing.
overseas territory. Self-governing. You understand? Who did England give them permission to make it that you need a license to go fishing now if you're an expat? I don't think so. That's these people made them laws. So the same how they can make them laws, the same how they can legalize it. They need to stop jipping around the thing and make sure they do what's right. Come on, man. Be a man. Don't be a sophist. Be a man. Be a man about it, or a woman, whatever. You know what to do is right. You know that it's causing suicide, disenfranchisement, all these type of things, starvation, even people going crazy, they don't know what to do. And a lot of people over here suffer from something called island fever. They don't want to lose their authority. If they ever give us the rights to grow up and get our own money, they will lose their authority over us. So that's a mean thing now. So don't come no more about England have to tell us whether we can or cannot. We don't prove that now. That's a lie. Thank you very much, Mr. Glidden. Have a nice day.
All right. Have a good afternoon, man. We have another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. Oh, Mr. Glidden, Cayman need Jesus. Cayman need Jesus. Cayman need Jesus. Mr. Glidden, Kevin Wireless, Education Department. I work Cayman Wireless. Now I'm Education Department. When I was at Cayman Wireless, you had to do a random test, urine test.
Yeah.
And they would just be working at your register and they'll come and say, hey, you have an appointment at 2 o'clock at so-and-so office. And there ain't no ands and buts. You got to go straight to the office and do that urine test.
Because that's the terms of your employment.
Exactly. Education Department, when you're doing your yearly contract, you have to go and do a physical and a urine test. You understand?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to explain to him. You enter into this employment agreement, and you accept that is going to happen during the course of your employment.
Exactly. You know, and it's, I'll leave it at that, say to which his own. You know what I mean? But Mr. Glidden, a couple of weeks ago, I saw a video where, if I could be wrong, I think one of our protector boat was chasing someone in the waters here in the island. I not 100% sure it was right here in Cayman. I can't even remember what the boat was saying, if it was saying Cayman Island protector boat or what, but it was chasing this other boat.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at that video for a few seconds and I said, no, this boat is chasing this boat. Suppose they have a gun on there and start backfiring back at the boat that's behind them. But I do not know if it was here in Cayman waters. I can't say that much. You understand? So, you see, we have all types of people throughout the whole world. Cayman have had the lesbian in our country from day one. They was very discreet, very secretive, as much as they could be. And nobody didn't discriminate them. People were using ganja for years in this island, and you could tell somehow who was doing ganja from who was not doing ganja with their behavior. And even taxi drivers, the government made taxi drivers for the last, I say less than 5 years, about 5 years, start making every taxi driver do a urine test before they can get their taxi license renewed, because then we had some people in the taxi business who was smoking ganja, and we all had to pay the price by going to do a urine test for the taxi as a taxi driver. went from one price to the highest of 100 and change. And I think Mr. Ebanks.
Well, you have to. You paid to take the test, the urine test.
Yourself. That's right. In a taxi, you have to pay for a urine test every year. It was 3 different prices, and the last price that we got now, I think it's down to $75. I think it is. And Mr. Ebanks, J. Ebanks, not sad. I understand when he was on with the public transport. I understand. I could be wrong. He's the one that got it beat down for us from 100 and something to $75 per year. And every taxi driver has to do a urine test every year. So I don't know what this urine test is such a big deal. To, like I said, to each his own. You don't want to get no working force and follow the rules and regulation. Well, you stay home under the tree and you smoke your ganja and be happy and merry. I'm not throwing this out at him or nobody particular. I'm just talking, I'm just spreading it as a broad brush. Whoever want to accept it, accept it. Who don't want to accept it, you're not in the category. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So even jobs you go on to is you sign a contract, a letter stating you hold all secretive of that job. You don't go and talk about the job in any shape or form. You sign a letter stating that everything that you do here and work here is supposed to be under secretive policy. You know what I mean?
Confidentiality.
Exactly.
You're not going to let the company's secrets out.
Yes, exactly. And, like I said, to each his own. And, the few people that we got coming up talking about the ganja, more power to them if they can get it and do it, more power to them. But they have to give account for their lives. I'm not discriminating them in any category. But I wish that I could hear more people come on radio and talk about how we can grow some food to supply the people of these islands, knowing that we got food shortage now. And we will be having more in the future. Because when our merchants go and purchase stuff to bring to our island, they go to the farthest length to make sure that we got food in this island to eat. And I take my hat off to Mr. Woodard Foster on a daily basis. I got a great deal of respect for him. If anybody love Cayman, is Woodard Foster. He makes sure that he go to the farthest length to make sure that we can have something on this island to eat. You can pick, choose, and refuse. And like I always say, if you like strawberries and you can't afford them this week, buy another fruit and leave the strawberries alone. Do not go into these people's stores and criticize their prices. We don't know what they are losing on a monthly basis when it comes to the vegetables and several different types of food that they got to try to claim back on insurance if it's covered with insurance. I am not here taking for nobody, but I'm just saying we are the most ungrateful people in the Caribbean island. When you see other countries striving left, right, and center to get a second meal for the day, here we are throwing it in the garbage and forget that we got neighbors and we got friends that we can call and say, hey, I just cooked some food and it's too much. I would love to give you something to eat. Not everybody can eat from you, but the close ones that are familiar with you and trust you, know you, they will eat from you, Mr. Glidden. They will eat from you. So I just want to hear how we're going to grow more things on this island for survival and stop depending on the rest of the world to send the food, because then...
Well, that's been the story for almost forever, though.
Huh?
Having to import food has always been our story.
Yeah,
we've never been able to produce enough food to, feed the local population, even when we were a small population.
Exactly, and now that the population is bigger, these people is going to try to source food from the farthest part of the world. And when they bring it here, then we're going to criticize the price that they're going to put on it. I can just imagine how much vegetables and so forth and fruits that they lose every month because the price is so high and we're out there complaining about the prices.
Yeah,
so
they lose food to spoilage and things like that,
I can tell you right now, some of these fruits and vegetables that they're bringing in here, they're going to be cut down because then people not going to want to buy them because they say they're too expensive. And they say it's healthy, but healthy food is expensive, but junk food is cheaper.
It is very expensive to eat healthy.
It's very expensive to eat healthy. I agree with you. And if we could just put our heads together and try to do a little bit more farming in our backyards, or encourage our local farmers and support our local farmers We could do a whole lot better what we're doing instead of sitting down here wishing and wanting this what the rest of the world is doing when it comes to stupidness and hanging up under the coconut tree and just grinning your head off and laughing at a car that's gone by, but yet you don't know where your next meal is coming from. Come on, Mr. Glidden. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for the call. Have a good afternoon. And a message on our WhatsApp line here. Good afternoon. The last caller is so right. I am going through that same problem in Savannah with the piece of land next to me. When it rains, my land gets flooded. And I didn't have this kind of problem before. It doesn't matter how much you complain about it, then don't do anything to try, or they don't do anything to try to fix the problem. Yeah, you know, a lot of land that was developed many years ago, it probably was not filled in properly. I mean, if you go up where I live, Prospect, you know, a lot of that should have been filled in much more to prevent flooding. But it was, you know, it's an old development, and the fill was minimal in some parts, and so now when a neighboring development or neighboring development goes in and fills their land properly, you know, the water is going to come down on the lower land, of course. And I mean, some of that is due to the older property not being filled enough to prevent the flooding. Let's see if we have another. What's up here? Oops, this won't open for me now. Okay. Let's see. WhatsApp giving me a little trouble here. There we go. And this was to the man, I guess the elderly man who was complaining about having everything online. This person says, God bless you always, Mr. George. You are so right. All you hear about is online. Mr. George, one fine day, these people will get old and will need help. Yes. If God spares our life, we're all going to get old, and we will need help. That's one thing for sure. You're not going to stay young forever. And speaking of elderly and retired people, I see we have here DLP, Department of Labor and Pensions, announces disbursement increase for RSA accounts. That's how much you can take out. The Department of Labor and Pensions has issued a new guidance note establishing updated withdrawal limits for retirement savings arrangements, RSA, which will take effect on 1st of August 2025. The director of DLP, Bernard Ebanks, who was on here a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Ebanks said by increasing the annual disbursement to retirees in line with the increased consumer price index, it will assist in coping with the increased cost. We will continue to monitor the CPI to guide subsequent increases. Under the new guidance, the maximum annual withdrawal amount has been increased to $15,400. Members who receive disbursements between the 1st of January and 31st of July 2025 will be eligible for a $400 supplemental payment where applicants to reflect the change. So a little bit more money there for people who are on retirement and, when you're on that fixed income, it can be hard, especially when you're limited to that little amount. And I see the government has also put out an announcement about scams that are being online here. Let me see if I can bring that up here. CIG warns of scams on social media. Members of the public are being warned of an online fraudulent investment scheme circulating on social media that uses the likeness of Parliamentary Secretary the Honourable Wayne Panton with claims of a government-endorsed investment platform promising money to the Cayman residents. The public is advised to be cautious of online get-rich-quick schemes, especially those claim to have the support or endorsement of the government. So don't click, don't smash anything, don't buy anything. And one of the ways of putting some kind of measurement on those kind of things, it's an old saying, but it's all so true. If it sounds too good to be true, it isn't true. So just be wary of those kind of things. Let's take a break. Be right back.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Here's a CUC storm tip. To avoid damaging power lines, always ensure that trees and branches on your property are maintained and grow away from power lines. Email service@cuc.ky for more information on how CUC can assist with tree trimming. With CUC, you've got the power.
Who will be the next Miss Universe Cayman Islands? Join us on the 9th of August, 7 p.m. at the Westin Ballroom to see our 4 beautiful ladies vying for the crown. Purchase your tickets on Eventpro and at Funky Monkey today. VIP tickets are also available. Come out and support your favorite contestant. A special thanks to our main sponsors, the Cayman Islands Ministry of Tourism, Cayman Airways, Compass Media, Radio Cayman, Caymanian Times, King Sports Center, The Finishing Touch, Kirk Freeport, Cayman Medical Center Limited, Crystal Caves, Woodlands Corporation, and the Physiotherapy Center.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. And we've been touching on a number of things here throughout the afternoon. And some of them have been, what is happening to the elderly, the lack of respect, the elderly having to function in this modern society that Cayman is today, dealing with online banking. And that's really, for some people, something that is totally alien to them, right? As someone mentioned, sometimes, it's not only that people are not computer literate, they don't know how to use online procedures and deal with that. But sometimes they aren't literate to begin with. And that always causes a big barrier. But, and the banks, other institutions should have, make some provision for people who can't cope with that. And let's go to, the WhatsApp line. Yes, we have a caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I think I'm good. I just want to pick up on the maybe it's not picking up so much. It's more like introducing this afternoon everybody's favorite subject, immigration and job preferences. Now, you know what? I have got to a point where now I have made a declaration, and I would like to see if I can explore that with you and your listeners.
Okay.
I've made a declaration that the government has actually capitulated to the forces in Cayman who are against a real immigration reform. And I want to reason that with you. Now, why do I say this? I say this because there are certain suggestions that are being made. They are obviously very good, but they are being ignored. And by good, I mean that those suggestions, and I'll come to them in a moment, they are suggestions which are intended to ensure that the aims of the people in the society are achieved. Now, what are those aims? People in society on the immigration side want to ensure that their culture is not erased. That means that their population should not continue being a minority in their own country. A lot of Caymanians are saying, look, we are down to a minority now. How far is this going to go? And that's the aim. That's what I think immigration is about. The job preferences is a slightly different issue. Now, hold up
for me. You're saying that the aim of immigration is to marginalize Caymanians?
No, okay, yeah.
The opposite.
Exactly the opposite.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. The aim of immigration is to ensure that Caymanians do not continue to be a minority in their own country. Yes, that should be the aim. So, what has the government tried to do in order to meet that aim? They have said, for example, from now on, status, I think they are saying that instead of 15 years, it should be 22 years. Now, is that going to achieve much? I doubt. A Jamaican coming from the lower strata of Jamaican society, and it's not all Jamaicans who come from the lower strata. They come to the Cayman Islands, they are in heaven. Do you think that it makes a difference? Are they going to say, well, since now to get status, I'll have to be here 22 years. After 16 years, I'll go back home. No, it's not going to happen. They'll stay as long as they need to stay, because after all, they are living in relative comfort. Then there's the issue, for example, they are also saying that the employment rights certificate, at the moment, I believe once you get married to a Caymanian, you'll be eligible to apply for it and get it after 1 year. And they are saying now it's going to be 7 years. Okay. You think there are a lot of people who are going to be affected by that? They just stay long enough to get it. And in any case, the government hasn't explained what happens in the meantime. Do they mean that if you are married to a Caymanian, you can't get an employment rights certificate, which allows you to look for any job? Or do they mean that you will be applying for a work permit? That again is unclear now. Either way, to me, that won't limit anything. And then they talk about marriages of convenience. By the way, marriages of convenience, as much as that expression is the common one used all over the world, I like an expression I came into the Caribbean. It is called a business marriage. Okay. I think that's more accurate in describing what it is. I believe, again, government is right to try and clamp down on these. But again, it is not going to achieve much. Now, what are the suggestions that government has been ignoring which were going to achieve much? One, there is a gentleman who ran in Georgetown West in 2017, didn't run again, and he has been making the rounds, making calls to various shows. And his point is very simple. Reduce the status grants so that they are not more than the net gain in the birth rate among Caymanians. You gave out in 2024 1,500 plus grants. That's how much were given last year. So all he's saying is this year, then you have to say what was the birth rate in Cayman. I believe it was about 800. The net birth rate among Caymanians proper, that is somewhere around 500. So basically his suggestion is, don't give status more than 500, because at the moment you are giving status at a rate that is 3 times above the birth rate, and that is not going to work. And to me, that's a very good suggestion, because even if it were to be challenged in court, you can always say that it was based on a rational reasoning. That person has also suggested that the terms should be changed. You should have Caymanians, that is Caymanians as of right, and new Caymanians who are people who got status. But again, people are fighting and saying, well, but you see, that's not a good term. And yet, these terms, in my view, are very good. They say both categories are Caymanians, but one is a new Caymanian. And there's also a slight legal difference in that new Caymanians can't run for office, but their children can run for office. But that, again, is being rejected. Then
let me ask you something. Let me ask you something about that, because I've heard that argument before, but doesn't that kind of set up a situation where you have two classes of citizens?
Well,
and separate cannot be equal, right?
Well, okay, let me answer it in this way. At the moment, that distinction already exists in the law. Because in the law, yes, they say Caymanians. When they say Caymanian in the immigration law, they say there's those who are Caymanians as of right, and there are those who are Caymanians by status grants. In the definition itself of Caymanian, those categories are already there. And they are there partly because not all rights attaching to a Caymanian, such as the right to run for office, apply to new Caymanians. It's just that people at a psychological level, the way I read my Caymanian friends, they don't like this idea that if they are Caymanians as of right, they should be lumped together with somebody who got status 2 weeks ago. Just at a social level, they just feel uncomfortable with that. And I don't see why government is not accommodating that. And in my view, if you say you are both Caymanian, yes, but one is a Caymanian as of right, the other one is a new Caymanian, I think that would satisfy a certain psychic need that indigenous Caymanians, established Caymanians have, but somehow government is ignoring that. But even more important, there's this issue as to which they've suggested to say, look, if you don't apply it to people who are already here, then you are going to achieve very little. Now, legal advice has been given informally, okay, that if you did that, it would be legal, it would be effective so long as the law is very clear. But again, government doesn't want to do that. They keep talking about, oh, we can't recruit teachers. To me, that's not a sufficient answer to the problem. If certain categories of people are difficult to recruit, you just start recruiting early, okay? So I don't know why in Cayman we buy some of these little excuses which people make. And then let's go to job preferences. This same person has suggested that there should be a provision in the law to say that all jobs created in the Cayman Islands are for Caymanians. However, if they can't find a Caymanian to do the job, they may give a work permit and then go further to say the following shall be for Caymanians only. To me, I think that's very good because it even guides the courts as to how to interpret the laws. But they have refused to accept that. Maybe they haven't quite said so, but they're ignoring it.
So in that, certain jobs will be reserved for Caymanians.
Yes, certain jobs will be reserved for Caymanian, but they need to structure the legal provision in a way that makes it clear as to what the government wants to achieve. It must, and by the way, there's one MP, well, I'll mention him, Mr. Ezard Miller, when he was in the backbench, he made a speech one time in Parliament where he said every job which is created in the Cayman Islands is presumptively for a Caymanian.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically. But if you reserved jobs for Caymanians, you said no work permits whatsoever, what happens when an employer can't find a Caymanian to fill that position?
Okay. Well, it's okay. You have to have a flexible system. One, you declare all jobs are Caymanian for Caymanians presumptively. And then if you can't find a Caymanian, then you have a work permit. And then you will have another category where no work permits will be given, okay? But you see, that one usually you can put in a regulation because it is likely to change every quarter and so on and so forth, okay? But you need a structure which is like that and which declares that to be the case. But again, they refuse to do that. The other thing they have failed to do in Section 26 and 41 of the Public Service Management Law, it says that a Caymanian should only be given preference in a job if their qualifications are roughly the same as that of a foreigner. They need to change those two to say that if a Caymanian qualifies, regardless of the qualifications of a foreigner, they should give the job to the Caymanian. But they're refusing to do that because that point has been made for the last 5-6 years. And then a lot of people are saying, let's wait for the draft. We'll see what will be in the draft. Well, what I can say about that is point number one. If it hasn't been announced right now, it is unlikely to be in the draft. Okay, I used to deal with legislation. Normally the policy is decided and then you draft based on the policy. Well, but although we don't know, some things could change between now and then. But if it hasn't been announced, people shouldn't assume somehow it will be in the draft.
Mr. Billy?
And then also, I don't think... Yes.
I have to break in on you because I got a break here and I got some callers waiting. But no, but we got to do a commercial break. I'm over my time.
Okay, very well. I'll let you go. I'll call you back for one or two other points I have to make another time.
All right, please do that. Okay?
Okay.
Have a good afternoon. We're going to break. Callers on the line, hold on.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway, eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Start. Stop. That's how long it takes to react to a child crossing the street. How long would it take you to apply the brakes? How long would it take the parents to forgive you? How long would it take you to forgive yourself? Slow down. Save a life. Not only theirs, but your own. Texting, speeding, and ignoring safety rules can cost lives. Visit gov.ky/road safety to learn more and help keep our roads safe.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Mr. Glidden?
Yeah.
All right. So, that caller there said she wasn't directly talking to me, right?
Yeah, she did say that.
Yeah, she did say that. So let me ask you and her something, right? I sound like a monkey to you, or?
Oh, no.
I sound like a dog to you, or? So who she sound like that she thinks she gonna tell me must go sit under a tree because I don't fit the criteria of some oligarchy up around here?
But she said she was not referring to you. She wasn't aiming at you. And I don't want to get into a personal feud on here now, okay?
Everybody that smoking ganja. You understand? But she don't know, say, right? How many people in the world, right? And then got this thing about if you don't work for it, you don't get it, right? How much people in the world, richest people in the world, actually work for that money? Come on now, tell me. You can count on your hand how much they actually had to go through hardship and achieve what they achieve on your hand compared to the rest of them that got it through nepotism and through their family keeping down and buying down other small businesses and keeping other people like me under the tree.
Well, there are a lot of people who made it in life through hard work, you know.
There's a lot, but there's not as much as there was that get it through nepotism and through their little franchising schemes and all that. You think Elon Musk worked for that money or what? You think that worked for that money or what? He got that inherited and avoided taxes. Simple as that.
Well,
since they won't come on and say what's so big about
I'm sure he did some work too.
He worked, yeah. Flipping pages, counting money. That's it. Since they won't say, right, that since they go through the urine test scheme, we have to go through it too? No.
All we're saying is that if you take a job and that is part of the terms of employment, you're going to have to abide by it. You sign an agreement saying, I accept this job on these terms. So, you can't really come complaining about it after you agreed to take the job, and that was part of the deal.
But you see, the hiccup in that urine testing is, right, is that is a 50-50. That is not 95% accurate. That is not 99%.
Well, I guess you can
accurate.
appeal it and take another test.
That's a 50-50. You can keep on taking the urine test. You can keep on taking it, and if it keep on showing up,
I'm sure there's such a thing as a false positive.
Yes.
If you believe that test is bad, you can insist on another one.
Yeah, it don't say that. It says unconclusive. That's what it says.
Well,
it wasn't thing there. You understand? Plus, the body makes a chemical similar to tetrahydrocannabinol naturally.
Well, there's all sorts of things, but I mean, what I'm saying is, if you think that that's a false test, you can get another test.
Yeah.
But if if you smoked last week, and they take the test this week, you're going to be positive.
Well, that would mean I would be getting charged for what I smoked last week.
Well, it's still, you still broke the law, and you also broke the terms of your employment.
Let's go back to the law. You know why that law really came about? You know why that law really came about, or you don't know? You think it because they were harming somebody, or?
No, there was a lot of preconceived things about marijuana, and because people shouldn't smoke it, that have been proven that these things aren't true anymore. And that's why in the States you have a number of individual states that have now legalized it for personal use. A lot of places have relaxed, the restriction against it. Canada has liberalized there. I think maybe they've even legalized it. I mean, I think you can go into stores and buy cannabis in Canada. Well, listen, I have another caller, and I only got 6 minutes left up here before I got to go to the news. So let me move on to another phone call, okay? Have a good afternoon. Let's take another phone call. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Mr. Glidden,
you're back.
You were talking about flow yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And I told you I had to put someone in my phone.
Right, the credits.
Yeah. And today I went and checked my phone, and my phone has 0 balance. 1 week. Can you imagine?
Let me ask you something. Are you using the data portion of it?
Nothing. No, not.
You're not.
You're
not checking Facebook, or using WhatsApp and stuff like that on the phone.
I have 2 phones, and the other one has all that rolling on it.
Uh-huh.
This is a standby emergency, and I don't know what's going down, but I'm going down. I have to go down countryside later. So I'm going to take the phone down there to find out what is going down. Is that money actually went on there? But I put that on a week ago, and today the phone has nothing on it.
Well, what you might try to do is to actually turn the data off, that it can't receive anything. Because it can be doing it in the background. You don't have to be actively on Facebook, right? That stuff is coming in all the time. And Facebook is constantly updating,
On it. This one doesn't have Facebook on it. It doesn't have Facebook.
It doesn't have any kind of data. But I would still just turn off the data. If you don't know how to do it, get someone to go into your settings and turn it off.
It has WhatsApp on it, but when it is using my internet, and my internet is with Logic, so it's not that I'm using Flow internet. I don't know if it's taken off because it has WhatsApp on it, and the calls is coming from the other phone. So I don't use the phone, but it has WhatsApp on it. So I don't know if it's running because. When I think I saw my son got hooked up, I don't know if it's running. I don't know what's going down. I can't say.
Try turning off the data.
Yeah.
Just turn it off altogether, and see what happens.
I just thought I would call and tell you that because I'm going to go down by Flo to find out what the problem is. I mean, a few dollars doesn't count, and not a big thing, but a few dollars. But the fact of the matter is,
well, you bought it, so you want to know where it went.
Don't tell me you're going to take my number from me because I'm not keeping it updated with the money on it. But anyhow, I hope you have.
Well, ask them about that. Ask them how it gets eaten up all by itself, and they might go into the phone for you and make sure that there's no data being used.
Yeah.
Because sometimes these things are going on, and we're not even aware of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell me about it. That's Cayman. That's Cayman.
No, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Anyhow, later but greater. I promise I won't call you back. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good.
Yeah. It's like also when you're traveling, don't even wait until you get where you're going. A much younger person told me one time, as soon as you get to the airport, turn that off, because you'll forget about it. You get on the plane, you get into Miami or someplace, and that phone is searching. It's trying to get a connection, and it starts roaming, and you haven't even touched the phone. It's in your pocket, in your briefcase, whatever, but it's searching for a connection. It makes a connection, and then Facebook starts coming in, and WhatsApp messages start coming in, and you're roaming. And if you haven't made arrangements to roam, boy, can those dollars add up real fast when you're roaming. So, make sure you have if you're going to travel, make sure you got a roaming plan. And I think they have them now that they're already built into some of the plans that they offer. You get so much data and so forth already built into it. But always check that out before you travel. If you don't have roaming, cut off that data because it's happening in the background there. And we have open line here, but we're going to be going to the news in just a bit. If you want to call me after the news, you can call me on 1-800-534-8255. That's 1-800-534-8255. That's toll-free. Compliments of Flo. 949-8037. 949-6990. Or WhatsApp 925-3261. Right now, let's go to the news.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought
I'm
to you
April
by
Cummings
Kirk
with your latest
Market.
headlines. The Department of Labor and Pensions has issued a new guidance note establishing updated withdrawal limits for retirement savings accounts, taking effect on August 1st. DLP Director Bernard Ebanks says by increasing the annual disbursement for retirees in line with the increased consumer price index, it will help cope with increased costs. The DLP will continue to monitor the CPI to guide subsequent increases. Under the new guidance, the maximum annual withdrawal amount has been increased to $15,400 a year. In international headlines, professional wrestler Hulk Hogan died of a heart attack, according to a Florida medical examiner's report released today. The report from the District 6 medical examiner said Hogan, whose real name was Terry Bollea, previously had leukemia and atrial fibrillation, an irregular heart rhythm. The 71-year-old was pronounced dead at a hospital less than 90 minutes after medics arrived at his Clearwater home to answer a call about a cardiac arrest on the morning of July 24th. Canada says it will recognize a Palestinian state in September. Prime Minister Mark Carney making the announcement yesterday, the latest in a series of symbolic announcements that are part of a broader global shift against Israel's policies in Gaza. Carney convened a cabinet meeting to discuss the situation in the battered Palestinian territory. He said it came after he discussed the crisis with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who announced a similar move on Tuesday. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And let's just check in here for weather check. 91 degrees at Owen Roberts International. Feels like 107 degrees. That's hot. Winds out of the east-northeast at 12 knots, and partly cloudy skies for the afternoon, and that goes right up through the night. And the radar showing some scattered showers around the Cayman area here. I guess there's a possibility you might see one or two come ashore here, but most of those are out at sea. And no hurricanes predicted for the next 7 days. And we were talking about the elderly and online, and I see a story in the Compass here about now you have to be watching out for money that might appear to have been taken from your ATM that you didn't make a withdrawal. Apparently, online scammers, thieves basically, they are putting malware right into the banking system and being able to manipulate ATMs. They can do it remotely. They can actually get access to the ATM by corrupting it with the malware. So, take a look at what's happening on your account. You see anything suspicious there, make sure to talk to your bank. But those are some of the, little pits and trenches that you have to watch out that you don't fall over when using online banking. You got to watch your own security. I know we have a commercial on here telling people that the bank will never ask you for your information. And you see these emails, and you see them again and again, trying to get you to click on a link or give out information. So it must work. People must fall for it, because as much as you see those kind of things, if it wasn't working, you'd stop seeing them, right? And there's always somebody out there trying to scam you, trying to steal from you, and you think the criminals on the street are bad, but you got these guys online, and they have no mercy. They will clean out your bank account and have no conscience about it. Well, we have a caller on the line. Someone on the WhatsApp line. Let's go there. Hello, you're on the air with Talk Today. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon again, Mr. Glidden.
Yes. Welcome back.
Yes, who's the minister that is in charge of
You're going to test me now.
Of Northwood Prison.
I want to say Minister DaCosta, Home Affairs.
Okay.
Yeah. So what about that?
Well, what we spoke about concerning when the prison inspector from England came to Cayman in 2007, and he said it was a disgrace for an island like the Cayman Islands with the finances that we have to be housing prisoners in a prison with those kind of conditions. That was 2007. Almost 20 years ago now. And I've never heard the government mentioning any plans to build a new prison. And the idea about fixing certain parts of the prison. For example, right now, if there was a major fire to break out in Northwood Prison, the security guards have to open each cell with a key.
You've told us that before.
Yes. And they're supposed to have things in place now where you press a button and all cells are able to open at once in case of an emergency to save lives. And the security guards are not going to want to walk into a fire and risk their lives opening cells for others, even if they wish they could.
Tell me something. Are you sure that there's been no improvements at all on that?
No, there has been no improvements at all in that. And it's impossible for them to knock out the grills that they now have and to put these new grills in place for these automatic cell doors to be put in place. The reason why is because Northwood Prison is rotting. The cement and the steel rods are rotting. The place was built in 1981, and the steel rods and the cement are rotting. So to knock those cells out and replace them with new cells, to do this and to hook it up, to do the electric work and hooking it up to electric work is impossible. So they have to build new buildings, and the buildings should be higher than the foundations that they have now, which the foundations that they have now are level with the ground.
Back to the flooding issue.
Yeah, which means it can cause some serious flooding, health problems, and God forbid, in Jesus' precious name, we have a tsunami. It could cause people to get drowned in their cells.
Yeah, I remember seeing an article about Northwood and conditions there. And it spoke of these things that you have referenced, where in a heavy rain, water is coming in, and the place needs repair. Unfortunately, prisons kind of fall far down on the priority list because people, prisoners, right?
Yes, but the government are responsible for the lives
exactly
and the care of these prisoners.
Yeah, you're right. Once you are a prisoner of the state, your safety is the responsibility of the state.
That is why people with mental problems, they built them a new facility that they're able to get the help that they need right here in the Cayman Islands instead of them having to be in Bellevue in Jamaica.
Well, did you see Do you follow the Compass online? I know you're overseas, right?
Yes.
Do you follow the Compass online?
Well, I listen to the news, but
Okay.
I don't follow the Compass online, but I'm able to.
But because there's a story in there today about 30% of northward prisoners experiencing mental health problems. You know, said almost a third of inmates at Northward Prison are seeing a psychiatrist and taking prescribed drugs for mental health problems, human rights campaigners have revealed. So
Yes, and I believe that. I believe that. But for the government to ignore a prison inspector from England from 2007 up until today, and this man was serious when he said that the conditions in Northward were not suitable for prisoners, and that was in 2007.
yeah, I remember that report. I know the one you're referencing.
So if it's almost 20 years now and the government has not done anything about it, the government has no excuse whatsoever concerning money that they could not have had this new prison built by now.
And it's not just the prisoners that probably are in danger. It's the people who work there too.
Of course, it's the people that work there. Of course. And they have families too, right?
Yeah.
And the prisoners have families too, right?
Yes.
And nobody in Northwood Prison was sentenced to death, right?
Not anymore.
Okay. So why should their lives be in a place where they're able to lose their lives because of the government not showing the care for them the way that they should? If God forbid, in Jesus' precious name, something was to happen like that, what will the government tell their family members concerning why they never did anything about it? What you know what the government is going to do then? Then they're going to come up with a plan right away then to try to cover up their mistakes that a new prison is going to be built.
Yeah,
So
lots of
before
times
it's happening-
something bad has to happen before anything is done about, the situation.
Yes, and it shouldn't be that way. But I'm just hoping I'm hoping that the minister in charge of Northwood Prison, and what does Mr. J have to do with it, Mr. J. Ebanks from Northside?
I don't think he's in charge of the prison.
But is he in charge of something that has to do with rebuilding Northwood?
I'd have to check that out. I'm not sure. I off the top of my head, I can't tell you.
What does his portfolio what is he responsible for in his portfolio?
I don't have it right at hand, but it's online.
Okay, because I'm hoping that soon you'll get these individuals, whoever is responsible, on this talk show, and I hope they take calls.
Okay, we'll try and get them on here. Listen, I got to take a break. Thank you for the call.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Jay and Money and Appleton presents the Jamaica Independence Celebrations on Friday, August 1st at the Compass Green, featuring dancehall sensation Voicemail. Everybody. Along with Cayman's own Leah GC. And other local entertainers. There will be Kitty's Talent Contest and lots of prizes and giveaways. Plus, a big bag on the sound. Come out early and get a chance to win a 43-inch TV, courtesy of Cost You Less. Best of Jamaican dishes on sale all day at the Compass Green location. Sponsored by Best Dressed Chicken, Popeyes, Wellies, Rodney's Car Rental, General Automotive Service, Wyatt Construction, Jake Scott, Kmart Hair, and Beauty Supplies, iCool, Excelsior Biscuit, Breeze FM, and Radio Cayman.
Smile for me, Jamaica. And I said smile, girl, smile. Ooh, Lord, smile for me, Jamaica.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we were talking about ministries and who's who in the cabinet. Yes, the Honorable Nicholas DaCosta is Minister for District Administration and Home Affairs, which I'm pretty sure the prison would fall under. And he was asking what the Honorable J. Ebanks' portfolio is about. He's Minister for Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing, and Infrastructure. So, yes, infrastructure, I guess that would be about building certain things. We have a WhatsApp caller on the line here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you? You going to take us down to the end of the line today?
Yeah, I'll be on.
I got two more callers there, though, so you got to get to the point.
Tell me something.
Uh-huh.
Isn't there like a international federations of prisons or
that I don't know.
Something like that. It has to meet a certain standard worldwide or something like that.
I don't know. I would imagine the UK has certain standards.
Okay, because I mean, this is some serious thing. I've been listening to my friend there for years now. He's been saying this, and I mean, they're just going on. I don't know if they're going on their fears or something, but
there's been newspaper articles too about conditions at Northward.
Yeah, that's some serious. That's a serious thing. It's a serious thing. Hundreds of people could actually lose their lives, and they're just dragging their foot with the whole situation. I mean, money has everything to do with it, you know. But sometimes we got to prioritize the most important things to get get where you need, because
And
that's a serious thing.
therein
People
lies the problem, you see.
lives.
Nobody wants to put prisons as a priority. As long as you can put them away in a cell, that's good enough for a lot of people. You know, they don't care about any kind of safety issue. And, you know, always an easy target for, you know, when you got to cut the budget, well, we can cut the prison budget, right? You know.
Yeah, but I mean that's the sad situation, and that's the bad thing about it. But it's a human rights issue too that it could become, you know. And it's coming like it's no big deal, you know. People like probably laughing at my friend and all that kind of stuff, but it's a serious issue, you know. And another thing about all this excavation and all that that's been going on, that's been the norm for the last 25 years. Dig up the high spots of the island and fill the low spots. Dig up the high spots of the island and fill the low spots. Take the rocks, take out the rocks at a certain part and put them with part not gonna rocks. They're changing the topography of the whole island. So how to expect it to be drained naturally? They need to come up with a master plan, a master suburban and urbanized plan for the whole island. They were talking about a drainage system, but that gone by the wayside now because it no way for it to drain. You know?
Yeah.
So
well, all the mangroves and everything has been filled in, but you're absolutely correct. There needs to be a master plan, because, you know, so many areas are now being affected by flooding that had never been affected before. But listen, I got two other callers, so let me move on. Thank you for that call. Let's go to another caller. We only got a few minutes left here. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. I trust you're well, and everyone at Radio Cayman. I just want to bring attention to something that I've read in the news the last week. You know the dolphin park we have here, or whatever it is, up at the turtle farm?
Right.
Okay. If most people don't know, the majority of those persons are Mexican persons that work there. And the reason behind that is because of it's owned by a Mexican company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's called the Dolphin Company, and they own 30 different dolphin parks, whatever, throughout the world. The Miami Miami-Dade County has evicted them from there. That's up for sale because they've kept the animals in a horrible state and the aquariums in a horrible state. So they're in a mess. So, and then there's one in Panama City Beach called Gulf World. Last 2 months, I think 5 or 6 of the dolphins died there, and they have shut them down. And the dolphin company that owns it, filed out of Mexico, filed for bankruptcy in Mexico February 2025, and they filed in May for the other parks in the U.S. They owe $200 million. The question has to be asked. There were 5 that died at Gulf World. What is going to happen to the park here and the dolphins? Because the article states the dolphins are the most valuable asset this company has.
Well, that's their whole show.
You're selling the dolphins also. So the question would be, does the Department of Tourism know that this company is bankrupt? And how recently has the dolphin park been how recently was an inspection done to make sure that the dolphins are in and get?
I'm not even sure if inspecting it is the tourism department's in their responsibility. It might be something to do with animals, animal cruelty and so forth. I have to move on and take another call here. So let's go to what might be our last call for the afternoon. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Good afternoon to you, Shallow.
Oh, you're gonna wrap up the show.
Let's wrap it up real quickly with this. With regards, I want to talk about other things, but it's no time for that. The prison issue, I understand their concern, gentlemen here. I'm quite well there. But as you said before, and it's important to note that it's not going to be a priority. Regardless of how we feel emotionally about it, you've got to realize nobody was put there on a death sentence. But again, several who are there have caused willfully the deaths of others, I believe. I can say that is true. And how do the victims' families feel about worrying about them too? The welfare of them there. This is an emotional thing, but has there ever been a study done by the government to see whether they can repair the building or not? 42 or 43 years old is not really very old for a building that's well built. There are prisons that are much older than that, world and so forth. I just wondered if there has been a proper study done ever to see if they can repair it and bring it up to standards. I've never heard anything about that. And so we're wondering or saying that, no, it can't be rebuilt, as the gentleman said. But is that really so? Has there ever been some study done? I know we do a lot of reports and commission a lot of things and set up commissions and whatever.
I guess one problem is where do you put the prisoners while they're doing the construction of the cells that they're in?
Another thing, of course, but many of them are low risk and so forth. Things could be done, and they used to be able to go out on the road, and I've seen that with Sergeant Forbes himself when there wasn't an author. The 20 guys walking around with machetes, cutting bush here with horses, gas station. That's one particular scene I remember from 70s. And Sergeant Forbes would be there by himself with them, and them having a water truck with a water jugs and thing ready for them, or soup, or maybe something else. And there they are, and that was done. So I don't know why we can't find other places in the meanwhile for the low risk, or just say, well, you're low risk, do something about that. But I think there's a possibility of repairing it at much less expense than going to build a new prison in this day and age. And we have other things on the burners to be done, the front burners. I don't know if that's ever going to be on the front burner ever to build a new prison. I don't know.
Not with everything else that they need to do, and like I say, it's always a low priority. But listen, we're coming down to the end. Thank you so much for wrapping up the show for me. You have a good afternoon. And that's it for me. Thank you for joining in this afternoon. I'm Charles Glidden. Have a good afternoon.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio